Hi, Dyslexic Genius here. Brad Hurt. My phone number is 864-236-1680, and that number is my home number, so make sure you leave your name and phone number if you'd like me to call you back. What I'm working on now is a back bracket on a Victor MS, about 1902, 1903. I've redone the whole machine. I've cleaned all this up originally, didn't redo it. You can see a little bit of rust here. I've re-nickeled all this, all the tone armor system. I've oiled this screw here that holds the horn in place. But what I want to discuss is, when the bottom of the pin goes in this hole here, right here, there's a spring. If you're missing the spring, you can use a spring out of a ballpoint pen, or this is an original spring. If the spring, you have to have tension on this, okay? It can't be weak, but a tension. So if your spring you feel is a little weak, you just take the spring and pull it apart a little. On these machines, they come in two pieces. There's a big end here and a little end here. The little end fits into here, and this little end goes into the hole in the back bracket where the spring is. So if you wiggle this, this has to be tight. Also on the top, right here, this is a piece of brass that they put in. This fits in here. So if you put everything together and your tone arm is wiggling, it's probably in the problem with the shaft is worn out because people don't oil this. On the tone arm, this shaft slides up through here like that. This runs in to the brass piece at the top of the tone arm. And then there's a set screw right here. When you put them in, you're not going to have it rubbing against the brass piece, which is right here, because this all comes up here like that. But you're going to just have a little bit of a gap. Because these are over 100 years old, and rust is a problem, and you can see here on this piece here, here's another one. This is rust, the brown you see here. I've showed you the bluing with the torch and the Wesson oil. I've done these, get rid of the rust. This one had rust, I had to deburr it. Make sure that when you put the spring in and the small piece in, this goes in first, that you lube it with a little bit of the synthetic grease. When you put it together, you want to put a little dab of synthetic grease here, just a little bit, so you have lubrication. Another trick is, when you put the tone arm together, sometimes these wiggle, they're worn out. So you coat this with a little bit of synthetic grease. After you put them together, and this is the end cap screw piece, you want to make sure that you grease that too, because they get in there and they get tight. And what the synthetic grease does is that the end cap screw runs up against here, and the yoke piece right in here rubs up against there, so they're tight. So you want to have a little bit of grease in there, because the grease is going to last forever. You never have to go back on this. You put them together, and you hear this, you want to get rid of that sound. Okay? And then after you've greased it, you wipe all this off. It'll never come back again, and everything will work perfectly well. The other thing are these two exhibition reproducers. Because this is an early Victor, this one has the hole in it. This one has the diamond. So we're going to use original, what would have been on this early MS. This is an original thumb screw for the needle, and that one there is a reproduction thumb screw. But I've also, because this was all rusted, I've re-blued these so we won't have the rust. They were originally painted black. This looks just like the originals. This is a lot of fun. These are just some great tips I want to give you guys, and that's my tip for the day.